near Madame. So I was going on the track to see orangutans, and I met in my group, there were people from Brazil, from Germany, from Poland. If I didn't know English language, I couldn't talk with them. In the top picture, you see girls from school in Banda Aceh. They just came to me in the street and they interviewed me because they are learning English and they wanted to practice their English. So after we went to tempat untuk minum kopi, and we talked and spent some time together. And it was really interesting for me to talk with them how they're doing in the school. And on the left, you see me also, this is in Penang. I stayed in Malacca, in Malaysia, near Kuala Lumpur. So I met also a girl from China, a local man who has hostel there, and only English language helped me to know them, to talk with them. Next. Also, English language helps you to explore how foreigners see Indonesia. I know for you, you were born here, you're living here, so maybe some things for you are not wow anymore. But for us foreigners, some things like that you sell petrol, benzene on the street and bottle iron, for us it's like, wow, that's so interesting. So if you can speak English, you can talk with us or foreigners and know that you're really living in wow, amazing country, and there are so many things. Or in Padang, we saw one place where they were selling esrabut lau, and for me it was, wow, can you make a drink from that? So you have so many amazing things that it's very, very interesting. Also, your weddings. I attended in the picture on the left at the top, you see a picture from Ajani's wedding. It was so interesting to see and how close look and how welcoming they are. So also English language is important, not even if you want to work outside Indonesia or in Indonesia, but to meet other people and know more even about your country. Next. Also what I noticed, the more I speak with people in the street, at university, or somewhere, just by knowing English language, I get so many new friends and new experiences. I was always asked to take interviews from top people. So I talked with some Hollywood actors, I took interview from some presidents who visited Lithuania, just because at my work I knew English language and my colleagues didn't know. So for you it's also like, even if you stay after studying in Batam, you will be much more better worker if you know English language well. And of course, Singapore, Malaysia, and some other countries, English language is a must. Next. Also, learning languages helps you train your brain. That's why I'm also like now learning Bahasa Indonesia, and all my life I was always learning languages. I was learning Lithuanian, of course, English, Russian, Italian, Hebrew, and now Indonesian. Just because I always want my brain, I'm older than you, so I noticed if I don't study anything, my brain starts degrading. So I always think that learning language is one of the best practice for your brains to keep alive and young. Next one. The thing why I enjoy the most that I know English language is what I saw in the world. So language, English, will help you to find new cultures, find new friends, and see much more. So like in these pictures, at the bottom on the right, you can see me in Bukit Lawang. Do you know where is Bukit Lawang? Near Madame. So I was going on the track to see orangutans, and I met in my group, there were people from Brazil, from Germany, from Poland. If I didn't know English language, I couldn't talk with them. In the top picture, you see girls from school in Banda Aceh. They just came to me in the street and they interviewed me because they are learning English and they wanted to practice their English. So after we went to tempat untuk minum kopi, and we talked and spent some time together. And it was really interesting for me to talk with them how they're doing in the school. And on the left, you see me also, this is in Penang. I stayed in Malacca, in Malaysia, near Kuala Lumpur. So I met also a girl from China, a local man who has hostel there, and only English language helped me to know them, to talk with them. Next. If I didn't know English language, I wouldn't be here. So it's the same for you. If you don't know English language, you maybe will not get into some very interesting and very nice place, because for me this is Batam now. So there is a quote which says that learning another language is not only learning different words for the same things, but learning another way to think about things. So for example, like, you know what's keju, yeah? Like cheese. Everyone knows in Indonesia keju. But in Indonesia, you know just some types of keju. If you go to France, you will meet and you will try and you will eat different 100 kinds of cheese, and you will see that the meaning cheese, keju, for you becomes like much different than you have it now. Next one. Why you should learn English. I try to put some points why it's important to learn from my personal experience. So first of all, knowing English language, you get more job opportunities. From my personal experience, I was already working for some time as a journalist, and at my work, not so many journalists knew English language well. So if someone important came to Lithuania, because I worked in one of the biggest news websites in Lithuania, I was always asked to take interviews from top people. So I talked with some Hollywood actors, I took interview from some presidents who visited Lithuania, just because at my work I knew English language and my colleagues didn't know. So for you it's also, like, even if you stay after studying in Batam, you will be much more better worker if you know English language well. And of course, Singapore, Malaysia, and some other countries, English language is a must. Next. Also, learning languages helps you train your brain. That's why I'm also like now learning Bahasa Indonesia, and all my life I was always learning languages. I was learning Lithuanian, of course, English, Russian, Italian, Hebrew, and now Indonesian. Just because I always want my brain, I'm older than you, so I noticed if I don't study anything, my brain starts degrading. So I always think that learning language is one of the best practice for your brains to keep alive and young. Next one.